The storm surge number is way up from before. We're now expecting 6 to 10 feet of storm surge anywhere from Port Lavaca all the way south of Corpus Christi, and obviously flash flood watches for inland areas in Texas.
We are hearing now anecdotal reports from people with relatives in the area about wide-scale destruction.
For a third brutal day, torrential rain, people rescued from flooded homes, volunteers with boats pitching in. But tonight, the storm claiming even more lives. The river still rising.
Hurricane Harvey originated from a westward moving tropical wave that emerged from Africa over the eastern Atlantic Ocean on August 12, 2017. The system became a tropical depression on August 17th. It maintained steady westward motion, strengthening the impressive system, and became a tropical storm later the same day. It was assigned the name Harvey. On August 18th, right before it entered the Caribbean Sea, the system weakened because lack of wind shear. After this, Harvey began to degenerate into a tropical wave. But, unluckily enough for Houston, Texas, Harvey wasn't going to give up easy. Though it lacked organization and the necessary ingredients to become a full-fledged hurricane, the remnants of Harvey continued to produce significant convection as the system traveled through the Caribbean Sea and the Yucatan Peninsula. The system reached the Bay of Campeche in the Gulf of Mexico on August 23rd and soon consolidated around a new surface low over a warm eddy that allowed it to blossom from a Category 1 storm into a Category 4. At its peak, it had wind speeds up to 130 miles per hour and made landfall in Texas on August 26, 2017. After making landfall in Texas on August 26th, the system dangerously idled over the Houston metropolitan area over a 4-day period. Many areas got upwards 40 inches of rain, and the governor declared state of emergency in 30 counties. Harvey was the wettest tropical cyclone on record in the United States, and the flooding resulted in the loss of 207,000 homes, 1 million vehicles, and the displacement of 30,000 people. Hurricane Harvey is tied with Hurricane Katrina from August of 2005 for the costliest tropical cyclone at $125 billion in damage. Houston was the worst hit in the system and is still recovering to this day. The city's flat terrain and clay soil made it susceptible to flooding. In recent years, a population boom has caused a rise in concrete roads and homes in low-lying areas. This exacerbated the flooding and made the bathtub-like city hard to drain. Houston at the time of Harvey also only had 2 flooding reservoirs and old sewage that was ill-prepared for the heavy rainfall. 88 people died in Houston as a result of poor planning, poor resource management, and lack of evacuation. With help from people all over the country, 17,000 rescues were made, and the community bonded together to rebuild their lives and their homes. After Harvey, Houston realized how ill-prepared it was for such events. There is current work on restoration of prairie lands and new zoning laws in flood-prone areas. With a population of 2.4 million people and it being the 4th largest economy in the United States, Houston needs dedication of the replacement of their old sewage and the installment of the 3rd flood reservoir. In their population boom from 2003 to 2017, they diverted too much funding to building new homes on the plains instead of managing their disaster resources. The lesson that can be learned from this catastrophic event is flood planning for a 100-year flood, as Houston did, isn't always enough. Harvey was their equivalent to a 500-year flood, and the infrastructural consideration needs to be given for larger events. Also, close attention needs to be paid to the meteorological data provided, and funds need to be more intelligently allocated. No one can control the weather, and it's oftentimes unpredictable. The only things humans can control is the response and interaction they have with their environment.